Vær Hilset, and welcome back to Pokemon Scarlet. And last time we defeated Iono, the streamer, and I said, well, we got a few classes to do, so let's do it. Oh yeah, we do have a few. We have history, languages, art, and home easy economics. Well, let's start with that then. You'd like home ec with Mr. Saguaro? Yes, please. Class will begin soon, don't be tardy. I think we have some energetic young ones in our class this time around. You may call me Mr. Saguaro. Your time here with me will be spent obtaining knowledge and skills indispensable for daily life. Many of you have left the care of your parents to live here on your own in the academy dormitory. I pray that the knowledge I impart to you will improve the quality of your lives and the necessities thereof: food, clothing, and shelter. Of those three categories, I assume the most pressing and interesting for you all is food. When you eat sandwiches on your picnics, the HP of your party Pokemon will be restored. You will also gain something called meal powers, which can provide a manner of benefits. For example, these powers can make Pokemon easier to catch or increase the experience points that your Pokemon receive. I think you will also find that the breadth of these effects can be expanded by crafting sandwiches of superb flavor. What's more, there is a certain something that is particularly important when we wish to receive meal powers with even more helpful effects. Let me see. Miss Kay, tell me, what must you keep in mind to receive even more helpful meal powers? Just feeling how fast I compare, I have to remember to put my heart into it. I'm guessing fillings and condiments, I'm guessing? Perfectly correct, Miss Kaylee. Perhaps you were already aware of this fact from having helped your family with cooking at home. Your choice of ingredients, including both fillings and condiments, is an important factor in gaining even more powerful, helpful meal powers. For example, using sweet ingredients in your sandwiches may help you gain egg power. Including numerous bitter ingredients, on the other hand, can gain you item drop power. Learning to aim for specific effects when crafting sandwiches will almost certainly make your culinary endeavors more enjoyable. Please be aware, however, that you can also receive meal powers by eating at restaurants. I must say that I will feel the utmost joy if you all learned much here in my class and came to better understand home economics. Okay, I was correct. Our time together has come to an end for today. I bid you all farewell. Well, it was pleasant. So, we'll be learning about cookery. Let's go for home economics number 2 with Mr. Saguaro. And see what he has to say this time. Put away your phones, it is time to begin class. In our last class, I believe we talked about the effects you can get from food on your picnics. You can receive meal powers and even restore HP to all the Pokemon in your party. It is truly convenient means of healing your Pokemon. His voice is going all over the place. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you are aware, it is not suited for use in battles, when you cannot make food or when you wish to restore HP quickly. In times such as those, you should make use of healing items such as potions, which you can purchase from Pokemarts or the school store. Healing items are immediately effective and can be used anytime that you can open up your bag. They are, however, consumed after one use. Potions restore 20 HP, Super Potions restore 60 HP, and Hyper Potions restore 120 HP. The pricier the item, the more HP it will restore. Keep in mind how much money you have when you are stocking up on these items. However, unforeseen impediments are an inextricable part of traveling from place to place. Imagine, if you will, the following scenario. You find yourself with injured Pokemon, but you have no potions. You are out of sandwich ingredients, and there are no Pokemon centers nearby. Tell me, Miss Kaylee, what should you search for when in a perilous situation with no way to heal your Pokemon? A place with water, a teacher, items on the ground. Perfectly correct, Miss Kaylee. I see you are well learned in survival techniques. If you see something shiny on the ground, it is actually an item that has been dropped there. You may be able to find a restorative item, such as an oranberry or a potion in this way. You can use the R button to send out your Pokemon to pick up such items as well. And then there are berries, of course. Berries, by the way, aren't like items from shops. If you let your Pokemon hold one, it will decide on its own when to eat the berry during battle. Letting your Pokemon decide this timing for itself can be quite interesting. At any rate, if you find yourself in need of healing, I suggest that you look around for some shining items on the ground. If you can't find such items, there are other methods you may employ for healing your but I see the bell has demanded the topic. Wait. Our time together has come to an end for today. I bid you all farewell. So is there a third home economics, or can I go do other classes now? There are 2 home economics. Let's go for history then. With Mrs. Ryford. Okay then. Let us see this Miss Ryford. Oh ho, I see we have some new students here with us today. My name's Ryford. I'll be the one to impart knowledge of the past for your little minds. History is a wonderful thing, truly splendid. The lives of our ancestors throughout history forged the path to the present in which we live. Today you shall learn about the most mysterious location in all Paldea, the Great Crater. As you are all aware, a massive crater known as the Great Crater of Paldea exists in the heart of our region. The area inside this crater is called Area 0, and research of its geological strata and material composition has shown that the crater is in fact over 1 million years old. It was long believed that a certain something rested at the bottom of this mysterious crater. Aha, perfect timing to make eye contact, young Kaylee. Answer me this. What exactly was believed to rest in the depths of the Great Crater inside Area 0? A Pokemon Center? A Snorlax? I could see a giant Snorlax living there, you know. Gigantamaxing, you know. But it's probably very generic treasure. That's correct. You are a surprisingly clever one, aren't you? I see you did your homework prior to coming to my class. That's right. Some believe that a treasure more valuable than anything else in this world rested in the depths of the Great Crater. So much for drama of treasure hunting, though, as a lab has been built in those very same depths. Oh, and before I forget, you would all do well to remember that the Great Crater and Area 0 are both off-limits to all but those who have official business there. Do not dare entertain the foolish notion of gallivanting off to Area 0 in search of riches. It is no place for children dreaming of treasure and adventure. Besides, if it were at all possible to investigate there, I would surely be the first to do so. Oh, is that time already? I must have gotten swept up in filling your mind with knowledge. This ends today's lesson. We will unravel more of the history's enigmas together next time. I see, so it was just generic treasure. Always treasure. It's just so... Don't go in there, there might be treasure. It's just so... It's so cliché that there be treasure at the bottom of a crater. Greetings, my young students, my little students. Whether you did yesterday, it is now part of history. Today we will continue to unravel the marvels that history has presented to us. About 2,000 years ago, this region came under the rule of the Chaldean Empire. Oh, that was an emperor and empire. Ooh. Historical accounts describe that Chaldean emperor as being quite the dictator. This emperor also zealously believed the legend of the treasure that rests deep within Area Zero. I must mention that the civilizations of our ancestors were not as developed as ours is today. People back then were far more likely to believe in mysterious legends, magic, and beings beyond human comprehension. Oh, hello, Mr. Laventon. Professor Laventon, what are you doing up there? That's a nice little nod. And the Hisuian Pokeball. And that's probably Jubilife Village, correct? On the left. And then of course a couple of landmarks. Oh. But still, beings beyond human comprehension, so you mean Pokemon. In an attempt to gain the power to stand against Chaldea's neighboring countries, the Emperor sent people in droves to hunt for the fabled treasure of Area Zero. Perfect timing to make eye contact, young Kaylee. Answer me this. Approximately how many years ago was it that the Chaldean Empire began to rule this region? Didn't you just say about 2,000 years ago? That's correct. You're surprisingly clever one, aren't you? I see you're listening intently to my lecture. The answer is about 2,000 years ago. That is when the great era of exploration began. However, it is said that not a single adventurer sent out by the Emperor ever reached the depths of Area Zero. Was it the punishing journey itself that barred the way? Or perhaps some unknown creature? The resounding failures of this great era of exploration almost certainly heightened the air of mystery surrounding the crater. Oh, what I wouldn't give to explore Area Zero in its untouched state at that time. I suppose I can only hope for the swift invention of a time machine. Or, you know, Arceus sending you back in time. Oh, is it that time already? Must be in blah 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 blah. And we never will, because you could also have 2 lessons. So sadly, no, we cannot unravel more of history, sadly. Let's go with languages, with Mr. Salvatore. Mr. Salvatore, eh? My dear students, how are you all today? Feeling good, I hope. Je m'appelle Salvatore. My name is Salvatore. Merci beaucoup, that is. Thank you very much for your attention here in my class. I'm so heureux, or happy for this chance to re-experience my younger days with you all. Do you know what Salvatore means? It means savior. So just imagine I'm here to save you from spooky new languages. Funny, no? That's right, my classes will teach you about the various languages from different regions. You may say good morning or hello as a greeting, but the people from elsewhere may say bonjour or salut. I've heard there's even a popular streamer out there who smashes several languages together and say hello, hello, hola, ciao, and bonjour. There are many regions out there in our world, and each can have their own unique languages. Gracias, merci, zizi, arigato, danke. Oh, these are all the same meaning. Can you guess what it is? It is thank you. Danke, thank you. Arigato, merci, gracias. Zizi, I don't know. I know it's Spanish, French. Zizi, I have no idea. Then it's Japanese, and then it's German for thank you. Wow, Kaylee, was it? Brava, that's correct, and speaking up is important in language learning too. Gracias, merci, zizi, these words all mean thank you. I guess some of you probably knew at least one of those. Despite meaning the same thing, their length and sound are all different, isn't that interesting? And now, apropos of nothing, let me give you all one of my wise words of advice. When you travel abroad, you should try to speak the local language as much as you can, even if you can't speak it very well. I'm just going to say straight that if you ever come to Denmark, please do not try to speak Danish. Just speak English. Most of Danes are perfectly capable of understanding English, and Danish is a very difficult language to grasp because of all of its absurdities, to say it mildly. So please just stick to English. You could probably also speak German and be perfectly able to get around Denmark. I'm sure your willingness to try will make the people you meet very happy. Honestly, from my experience, just being able to say hello, delicious, and thank you in the local language will get you pretty far. For everything else, just pretend you're Mr. Mime and gesture away. That's actually very, very good advice. Because we not only communicate with our spoken words, but our gestures is like 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80% of how we communicate is with our body language. We use our body a lot more in communication than we actually think we do. Even our facial expressions, our eyes, pretty important in communication. Which is why difficulties arises in purely chat text-based environments, because you can't hear the tone of voice, you can't see into a person's eye, how are they angry, confused, making a joke, you can't see how their body is positioned, how their body is moving. It's language is communication is a really interesting subject matter. Oh, there's that pesky bell. I guess that's all the time we have for today. Well, adios, matane, à la prochaine. See you later, everyone. Wait a second, you ain't Psyduck. Where'd the Psyduck go? Did you eat it? Have you consumed the Psyduck Gengar? I got me eyes on you. Don't you lick your teeth like that. I got my eyes on you, Gengar. Even though I didn't know you were there before. Let's take another language class with Mr. Salvatore. My dear friends, how are you all today? Feeling absolutely fantastic, I hope? It's time for Salvatore's language lesson. Êtes-vous vous prêt? Are you ready, everyone? You can answer with yes or oui. Oui, oui, oui. C'est super. In our last class, I believe I taught you all how to say thank you in other languages, right? In les cours d'aujourd'hui. Okay. Les cours d'aujourd'hui. Today's class, we will learn about a certain word sure to make people happy when you use it in your travels abroad. What word do you ask? Well, you have to guess. Delicious, muy bueno. Can anyone tell me what these words mean? See, delicious. It's Haushi Buono. I'm pretty sure it's delicious because the French word looks delicious. It's not sorry. I'm also pretty sure it's not help. I'm going with delicious. Wow, correct, c'est super. I knew I could count on you, Kelly. Delicious, hauji, bueno, all of these words means delicious. Using the local word for delicious at the markets or restaurants is sure to get a big sourire, a smile, that is, from whoever you're talking to. It'll make communication go smoothly, I guarantee it. People love it. When someone says the cuisine of their homeland is delicious, who wouldn't be happy to receive such a compliment? And now, apropos or nothing, let me give you all one of my best words of advice. First step to smooth communication is to compliment the person you're talking to. After all, it's not very likely that a compliment would put someone in a bad mood. Depends if what you're saying is assumed as a compliment. Because you can say something that is a compliment when translated, but when said in the local language might come on as a bit rude, or a local dialect that makes something turn into rude. You know, also the whole culture thing of a place need to be thought about. I'm just saying. This doesn't only apply to people in other regions either. It's the same for all of you too. You can put this tip to use with your classmates. How about you all try complimenting each other after class? I bet it will make for an ambiance plus sympathique, a more friendly atmosphere. That's all for today. See you all au prochain next lesson, that is adios matane. No, we won't, because that's the last lesson. On Mr. Salvatore. So, what's the next one? The art with Mr. Hassel. So, we already saw this guy at Yono's gym, or whatever the second gym I'm guessing you defeat, you've seen him at. I'm pretty sure. Is that a Staraptor? Greetings, I am Hassel. I will be teaching this art class. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Now, let me be candid at one moment. I imagine that many of you will forget all that you learned in this class once you graduate. After all, you don't need even a basic understanding of artwork, much less refined appreciation of beauty for most exam or jobs. So, is my class a waste of time for you then? Let me just state this. You might, when you take an exam or you graduate from school or you get out of an extremely long study to become a doctor, a jet fighter pilot, a whatever. You might forget like 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90% of what was taught. That does not mean that it was a waste of time. Because if you weren't presented with that knowledge, with that experience, it wouldn't have a chance to better you, to change you, to get you to think a little bit different, to have an influence on who you are today. That's why it's important to get experiences. Try to seek out information, knowledge, other opinions. It can help solidify or maybe even enhance your own. And of course, some information, knowledge is just what we think of as baseline. You know how to add in math. You know how to subtract. You might be able to multiply or divide. You might not necessarily need it, but it's a nice tool to have. Might be able to know how you talk English, how you talk German. You might be able to say a couple of sentences. You might be able to recognize a few words. That's totally fine. It's nice to have a baseline to work with and expand, or just forget it. Again, our brains are wired in a way that we actually forget and remember all the time. It's our brains are weird, but we forget information, we remember information. We forget how to do something until we need to do that thing again, and then suddenly, boop, we remember it. That's how our brains are wired. It's fascinating. I think not. At least I certainly hope it isn't. Think for one moment, all of you. What is beauty anyway? What makes something beautiful? I like the eye of the beholder is an answer. Interesting. Thank you, Kaylee. Oh, I don't mean to say it. That's a correct answer to my query. The important thing is that you all take time to think about it. Think about why we might find beauty in a flower blooming on the side of the road, for example. Question why the sky is a different shade of blue than the ocean, or why I pressed the wrong button. Ponder the windmills of Artisan and how they move. Contemplate the chilling bite of the waters of Cascarafa. I'm sure you will find that every little detail of your lives will seem more vivid, more impactful. if you just take a moment to stop and think. And I am certain that if you stop and truly appreciate the little beauties of this world, it will help pull you through the days where your studies have you exhausted or when work has dampened your spirits. Do pardon me for waxing philosophical. You don't need to understand all of that now. To put it simply, it is true that one doesn't need art to survive, but it certainly makes surviving much more enjoyable. It is my hope that this class will add even a little bit of color to your lives. That's all for today. Next time we'll try a more hands-on approach for appreciating beauty. Right, so then let's go for the last class then. I would like the last art class. Hello class, it is I, Hassel, yet again. In our previous class we discussed what beauty is, which might have been a little boring for you. So today I thought I would mix things up a little to pique your interest in art. I like the drawings. Allow me to introduce our special guest. Gibble. Interesting. This is Professor Gibble, the assistant lecturer for today. It's a Pokemon with a PhD. Now then, Professor Gibble, if you would be so kind as to terrestrialize for us. Don't you need to use the crystal ball thingy on it? Oh, it's a grass one. A grass Gibble. As some of you may already know, a Pokemon can terrestrialize if you use a Terra Orb. Normally, Professor Gibble would be of the Dragon type, but by terrestrializing, it's succeeded in changing its type. So class, what type do these lovely glistening flowers above Professor Gibble's head represent? It does represent the grass type. Excellent, Kaylee. Full marks for you. Yay, these beautiful flowers brewing about Professor Gibble's head show that it has now become a grass type. The shape of the Terra jewel above a Pokemon's head depends on the Pokemon's Terra type. To summarize, if an opponent's Pokemon terrestrializes during battle, observe a Pokemon's Terra jewel closely to see which type it has become, and choose effective moves accordingly. It is my sincere hope that today's lecture will help you all achieve beautiful victories. The terrestrial phenomenon is indeed a fascinating and deep subject to discuss. That is it for today, class. Thank you, Professor Gibble, for your help. Glamgib. I do hope he used his Terra Orb on it. Oh wait. No, because there is wild terrestrialized Pokemon. Like the level 50 Leafeon I encountered during the first grinding session. No, not the first grinding session, just before. Right. That had me absolutely flabbergasted. Anyway, that was our studious opportunity this time. And next time we have a Steely Titan to look at. And I might also just take a quick little roundabout in the middle of this town because I haven't actually been into the center yet. Excuse me. And yeah, sorry about the information about language, but it is kind of an interest point for me, being a certified teacher in the Danish folkeskole. So, but anyway, I thank you so very much for watching. Map says is around here. Do you mind I'm doing an outro? Outro, not intro. Blah, 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 blah. An outro I'm doing. But anyway, thank you so very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And until next time, ses. It is big, kid. It is a big ses.